In the vast and intricate cosmic tapestry, where the stars weave the threads of our destiny, there are energies that resonate with a particular depth, shaping not only our personality traits but also the very structure of our earthly journey. Today, we turn our gaze to a sign that is often misunderstood in its most primordial essence: Capricorn. When we think of Capricorn, the mind immediately evokes images of unwavering responsibility, mountain-scaling ambition, and seemingly inevitable success. But beyond this facade of discipline and conquest lies a silent power, a subtle force that few dare to unveil. It's not just about reaching the top, but about understanding the fundamental laws that govern ascension, mastering time, and operating on a plane where patience is the sharpest weapon. While other signs are carried away by the tides of emotion, Capricorn navigates calculated waters, driven by a cold and precise logic. The serenity he displays is not emptiness, but a profound control, an ability to observe the entire scenario before making the move that will define the game. The coldness that the world perceives is, in fact, the armor that protects him, allowing him to see the truth behind appearances, to feel the slightest thing, and with that, to anticipate the unfolding events. Within this silent architect of power resides a mind that has deciphered the codes of existence in a unique way. Capricorn is not deluded by fleeting fantasies. On the contrary, he is a master at weaving his own realities with the precision of an artisan who knows every tool and every material. He knows the exact moment to retreat to gain strength, the time necessary for the gestation of a plan, and the perfect opportunity to act. His secret, as simple as it is profound, is mastery over waiting. While the world reacts to impulse, Capricorn feeds on patience, transforming it into an engine of achievement. The label of cold is, in fact, a testament to his innate discipline, self-control as the master key to unlocking any system, to navigating any challenge. Those who try to appeal to his emotional side without understanding the depth of his resilience discover too late that they were playing a simple game against a strategist who has already envisioned checkmate. The driving force behind Capricorn is the influence of Saturn, the ruling planet that personifies time, destiny, and the lessons of karma. This rulership gives the sign an intrinsic understanding that every action has its price, and every victory an inherent sacrifice. Carrying an ancestral, almost mystical energy, Capricorn connects with what is tangible, real, and lasting. This is where its darkest and most fascinating power resides. While most seek the light and immediate expansion, it masters the shadows, the complexities, and the slow but inevitable processes. Whoever challenges it, whoever tries to subvert its order or hasten its pace, inevitably encounters the unwavering strength of one born with the mission of shaping their own destiny, of building structures that withstand time. The first secret of Capricorn's power lies in its calculated coldness, an ability to observe without being consumed. In a world where many rush to prove their worth at all costs, Capricorn adopts a posture of silent and impassive observation. It absorbs every nuance of the environment, every movement, every hidden intention. Its action is not impulsive, but the fruit of carefully prepared ground, of an infallible strategy. This apparent calm is, in fact, an exercise of absolute control, a power that needs no fanfare, but imposes itself with serene authority. Underestimating its apparent slowness is a fatal error. When the perception of this mistake sets in, Capricorn has already charted its course, surpassing those who were lost in haste. It is the predator of time, the one who waits, calculates, and invariably wins. Capricorn's ambition is a second, darker aspect. a force that transcends the simple desire for success. It's not enough to conquer, one must dominate the top, reshape the system, become the very foundation upon which others build. Their shadow emanates from this silent and obsessive pursuit of power. They're capable of renouncing immediate pleasures, moments of rest, and even emotional ties if it brings them closer to their goal. For Capricorn, success is not a matter of chance, but a meticulous architectural work. While the world seeks shortcuts, they build empires with the patience of someone who understands that solidity is the basis for longevity. There is a divine wisdom in their ambition. They understand the universal law that dictates that everything that rises without a firm foundation is doomed to crumble. The third revelation about Capricorn's power is their gift for strategic manipulation, an art they execute not with fiery words, but with deliberate and calculated actions. They don't make empty promises. They demonstrate with results. They don't seek to convince through rhetoric, but lead by example. True power in their view is invisible, the kind that pulls the strings undetected. In the professional environment, in interpersonal relationships, in friendships, there is always an underlying plan, a greater purpose that guides their steps. Behind every calculated move lies an implacable reasoning. If I don't control the situation, someone else will. This mentality makes them almost invincible, as they never act impulsively, but always aim for the end result. The fourth dark fact is their remarkable emotional resilience. Capricorn does feel, but rarely allows that feeling to show. Their pain, their frustrations, their vulnerabilities are kept under lock and key in an inner vault, inaccessible to all except those who have proven themselves worthy of their absolute trust. This restraint, this ability not to react in the heat of the moment, makes them a dangerous force. They don't explode. They absorb, process, and record every detail. And when they decide to distance themselves from someone, that decision is final, irrevocable. There are no arguments, no shouting, just an absence that settles in, a clean and precise cut. It is in this absence that their punishment resides. For Capricorn understands that karma needs no witnesses. Time is their accomplice and their executor. The fifth fact is his mastery over fear. Capricorn seems to have been born with the innate ability to face the abyss and still move forward. He doesn't panic at the prospect of falling. He measures the depth, calculates the impact, and prepares himself. He is the type of individual who transforms failure into a solid foundation for the future. And here lies one of his darkest secrets. He thrives through adversity. While others despair in the face of difficulties, he grows stronger, more refined. Each loss makes him more resilient. Each disappointment sculpts him with greater precision. In the silence of his own inner fortress, he reorganizes himself. And when he returns, he is more solid, more serene, more lethal in his determination. The sixth fact is their hidden sensuality, a striking contrast to the ostentatious desire of other signs. Capricorn masters desire, they are not mastered by it. Their sensuality is contained power, a penetrating gaze, a presence that commands respect and admiration. It is an energy that doesn't need physical contact to subdue, that seduces through the mind, through mystery, through the aura of knowledge it emanates. To love a Capricorn is to embark on a labyrinth of control and desire, a journey that transforms and redefines. For they do not surrender on emotional impulse, but for a well-defined purpose. And when they love, they do so with the strategy, intensity, and silence that characterize their essence. And the seventh fact, perhaps the most obscure and fascinating of all, is its intrinsic relationship with destiny. Capricorn doesn't place faith in luck. It believes in structure, order, and meticulous construction. It sees life as a steep mountain, and each step is carefully planned to ensure stability and avoid falling. However, what few understand is that this sign is guided by an ancestral, almost mystical energy that connects it deeply with the laws of karma and universal order. It understands that apparent chaos is merely a transitional stage before the restoration of stability. Therefore, it never despairs. It simply observes, waits, and trusts the process. In the end, it is the Capricorn who remains standing, serene and unwavering, while others succumb to their own haste and lack of vision. Now that you've glimpsed the hidden and powerful side of Capricorn, perhaps you understand why it's considered the true architect of the Zodiac. It doesn't feed on fleeting applause, but on concrete and lasting results. Its silence is an elaborate strategy, its distance a precise calculation, and its impassive gaze a profound, energetic reading. Trying to hurt a Capricorn is like trying to bring down a mountain with words. The echo may return, but the rock remains intact. It represents power that doesn't need external validation, for it was born with the contract of destiny signed in its soul, a pact with eternity. But tell me, have you ever met someone who seemed unshakable, who maintained absolute self-control even when the world crumbled around them? Someone who transformed losses into stepping stones to climb higher and sorrows into foundations to build an empire. Perhaps you've crossed paths with a Capricorn. They don't raise their voice, they don't utter threats, they don't beg for attention. They simply observe as karma unfolds its subtle and just work. And when the dust settles, when the storm passes, there they are, intact, contemplating the horizon with the serenity of someone who knew the outcome from the beginning. If this immersion into the depths of Capricorn has made you rethink what true power is, then it's time to continue this journey through the secrets of the Zodiac. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and discover what the stars still hide in the subtext of your soul. Because understanding the signs is, ultimately, understanding the universe itself. And Capricorn is not just a sign. It's a primordial force that reminds us all that, sooner or later, time bows before those who learn to master it. The sixth facet of Capricorn's power, often veiled under a cloak of discretion, manifests itself in a sensuality that is both magnetic and controlled. Unlike signs that express their desire effusively and openly, Capricorn masters this primal energy with silent mastery. Their attraction doesn't lie in superficial exuberance, but in a contained strength, a firm gaze that penetrates the soul, a presence that emanates authority and respect. It's an energy that doesn't need physical touch to exert its dominance, seducing through intelligence, mystery, and the undeniable feeling that they possess a deeper knowledge, revealed only gradually. To love a Capricorn is, therefore, to plunge into a complex labyrinth where control and desire intertwine inseparably, resulting in a profound transformation for those who allow themselves this journey. For they don't surrender to passion impulsively, but for a strategic purpose, a conscious decision that elevates intimacy to a level of rare depth and intensity. When she gives of herself, her affection is an act of deliberate choice, intensified by the eloquent silence that permeates her displays of affection. This restrained sensuality translates into a unique form of intimacy, where intellectual connection precedes and deepens the physical. Capricorn doesn't surrender easily, and it's precisely this initial resistance that makes conquest so rewarding and surrender so meaningful. He assesses, observes, and when he decides to allow himself to be intimate, he does so with an intensity that can surprise. It's not a blind surrender to emotions, but an alignment of wills and purposes that elevates the relationship to a higher level. The attraction he exerts is often subtle, built on admiration for his reasoning ability, his resilience, and his worldview. This magnetic quality is a reflection of his own inner strength, an aura that attracts those who seek depth and substance in their relationships, and not just superficial brilliance. Furthermore, the way Capricorn handles intimacy mirrors their overall approach to life: strategic and goal-oriented. They don't seek mere momentary pleasure, but the construction of something more lasting, a connection that withstands the test of time. This doesn't mean they lack passion. On the contrary, their passion is deep and focused, directed towards what they consider valuable and worthy of their energy. This approach can sometimes be interpreted as coldness or detachment, especially by those who expect effusive and immediate displays of affection. However, for those who understand and appreciate the complexity of their nature, this depth of feeling and controlled intensity becomes sources of fascination and security. It's crucial to understand that Capricorn's sensuality is intrinsically linked to their self-confidence and sense of self-sufficiency. They don't need external validation to feel desirable. Their own strength and determination are enough. This intrinsic security is one of the most attractive aspects of their personality, projecting an image of power and control that is, in itself, deeply seductive. They attract individuals who admire this independence and who seek a partner with whom they can share not only moments of pleasure, but also challenges and achievements. The relationship becomes a partnership where both sides contribute their strength and intelligence to a common goal. Therefore, instead of demonstrating affection through grand and effusive gestures, Capricorn prefers to express their appreciation through concrete actions and unwavering support. Their demonstration of love can manifest itself in strategic advice, silent support during times of crisis, or the joint construction of a solid future. This way of expressing intimacy, although less conventional, is profoundly meaningful and lasting. It builds a foundation of trust and mutual respect that transcends fleeting emotional fluctuations. Capricornian seduction is, therefore, an invitation to a deeper commitment, an alliance built on the solid foundation of mutual admiration and respect for each other's goals. They seduce you with the promise of a future built together, a shared legacy, where pleasure is a natural consequence of partnership and mutual growth. This strategic approach to love and intimacy doesn't diminish the intensity of the feeling. On the contrary, it intensifies it and channels it towards building something more lasting. Passion in Capricorn is like a slow, deep fire that burns steadily and warmly, heating and strengthening the structure of the relationship. It's not about superficial displays, but about a commitment proven in practice, in everyday life, in the joint overcoming of obstacles. It is this depth, this capacity to love with purpose and strategy that makes it such a magnetic force and ultimately so powerful in its intimate connections. By intertwining the diverse shades of power emanating from the Capricorn archetype, we realize that it is not an ostentatious force, but a subtle architecture built upon foundations of self-mastery and a profound understanding of the laws governing time and destiny. The journey we undertake, unveiling the layers of its influence, reveals a pattern of movement that is both deliberate and almost inevitable. The reflections that have emerged, like echoes of ancestral wisdom, point to a resilience that does not waver in the face of adversity, but uses it as fuel for even more robust growth. It is like observing a mountain that, after each earthquake, rises firmer and more imposing, its structure solidified by the very forces that tried to shake it. This intrinsic capacity to transform adversity into stepping stones for ascension is one of the pillars that sustain the aura of unshakability that surrounds it. The way he navigates the waters, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, is not a matter of chance, but of strategic intelligence that anticipates the tides and plans the route with surgical precision. From this perspective, it becomes evident that Capricorn's true mastery lies in its ability to operate on a plane where patience is not just a virtue, but a tool of power. This patience manifests itself in every action, in every decision, in every calculated weight. It is a direct counterpoint to the ephemerality and immediacy that often dominate the contemporary scene. Instead of succumbing to the pressure of time or the urgency of circumstances, it allows itself the luxury of deep observation and action at the exact moment when the opportunity presents itself ripe, when the move is not only possible, but certain. This serenity, which many interpret as coldness, is, in fact, a reflection of profound inner control, a discipline that allows it to maintain focus on its long-term goals without being diverted by distractions or emotional appeals that do not align with its vision. In this process of unveiling, we understand that Capricorn's influence transcends the personal sphere, shaping the very structure of how we understand success and achievement. The truths that have emerged, like rays of sunlight breaking through the fog, invite us to consider the magnitude of a force that seeks not applause, but tangible results. The way it builds, how it persists, how it adapts without losing its essence, points to an intrinsic understanding of life's deepest dynamics. By considering these converging aspects, the path to a more complete understanding of its essence opens, preparing the ground for the absorption of the final reflections that are approaching. The journey so far has allowed us to glimpse a power that is not imposed by brute force, but by strategic intelligence, innate resilience, and a profound connection with the universal rhythms of time and destiny. As we contemplate the journey through the layers of power that define the Capricorn archetype, a fundamental truth is revealed. The force emanating from this sign is not an ephemeral ray, but a constant underground current, shaping the terrain upon which we build our own aspirations. It is not merely about reaching the mountain peak, but about understanding the geology of the ascent itself, about understanding the tectonic forces that shape the landscape of our progress. The discipline we see externally is a reflection of a deep connection with the intrinsic rhythms of the universe, a harmony with the cadence of time that others, in their haste, often neglect. Capricorn's patience is not inertia, but an active force, a long-term strategy that flourishes in anticipation and deliberate construction. It is the art of waiting for the right moment, not out of inaction, but out of unparalleled clarity about when and how to act, so that the movement is definitive and transformative. This mastery of timing and strategy invites us to a deeper reflection on our own relationship with ambition and success. Capricorn teaches us that true achievement lies not in speed, but in solidity, in the foundation we create, so that our accomplishments withstand the vagaries of time and the changing tides. The coldness that the world perceives is, in fact, a veil of self-control, an armor that protects the depth of one's feelings and the clarity of one's purpose. It is the ability to feel without being dominated, to observe without being distracted, to act with surgical precision when the moment is right. The lesson here transcends astrology. It is an invitation for us to cultivate within ourselves this serene determination, this ability to build empires silently, step by step, with the conviction of one who knows that persistence and long-term vision are the true keys to unlocking unlimited potential. The journey through the 7 dark and fascinating revelations of Capricorn offers us a mirror to contemplate our own shadows and hidden strengths. The way it transforms fear into foundation, pain into refinement, and ambition into architecture is a testament to the power of resilience and the wisdom that emanates from adversity. What may at first seem like a cold or calculating nature ultimately reveals itself as a profound understanding of universal laws, an unwavering respect for karma and cosmic order. It shows us that true power lies not in demonstration, but in substance, not in explosion, but in constancy, not in haste, but in a deep and unwavering understanding of time. True practice begins now as we integrate these lessons into our own journey. May we, from now on, look at our own mountains with the same calculated serenity, the same strategic patience, and the same profound trust in the process that Capricorn so masterfully exemplifies. For in the silence of our own creations lies the most enduring strength, the wisdom that shapes our destiny and invariably elevates us to the level that life has in store for us. If this dive made you rethink what is real, the time has come to continue the journey through the secrets of Zodiac. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and discover what the stars still hide in the subtext of your soul. Because understanding the signs is understanding the universe itself. And in the end, Capricorn isn't just a sign. It's a force that reminds everyone that sooner or later, time bows before those who master it.